And we all do know tomorrow is the day when we're going to have the district level election. That's what they call it. That's when we will elect various assembly members. Okay, let me just speak the language I'm very used to. Assembly members, because the election of the assembly and unit committee members is a responsibility, as we say, of every Ghanaian. So today we're going to take a look at how well prepared the Electoral Commission is for this very exercise. Now, hitherto, this would have been combined with the referendum. Of course, it's been aborted by the president. You know, he sponsored the bills, etc., to Parliament. But now let's get going and have some great conversation on the subject. And we already do have Dr. Srebwo Kweku. He is Director of Electoral Services, the Electoral Commission of Ghana. Thank you for joining me, Dr. Kweku.
Thank you, my brother.
And the referendum, we got some information from the wires that you had prepared, sponsored, paid for the ballots, etc., or the papers for the referendum before the president called it off. What's happening to all that?
You're right, my brother. We have finished printing the ballot papers before it was called off.
So how much did we spend on it?
We cannot disaggregate that because the contract was for the printing of both all the ballot papers from referendum, this assembly, and the unit committee. So we had to disaggregate before we can get the exact figure for the referendum.
How many voters do we have on the roll?
Approximately 60 million.
Approximately, so 50 million and something.
Yes, exactly.
And we had spent money to print for the referendum and then the district level elections.
For the ballot papers, yes.
That's a lot of money gone to waste.
Oh, yes, we have for the referendum, yes, I agree with you. But like I said, we were printing referendum, this assembly, and the unit committee. So we need to take time before you can disaggregate and get the actual cost for the printing of the referendum.
So usually you go through the tendering processes and then the printing is done.
Exactly.
At what point in time did you issue or give final approval for the printing to be done within the year?
I can't be specific about a month, but let's say about a month ago.
About a month ago,
yes.
And then the printing was done subsequently.
Yes. Well, printing of the referendum papers was easier, so we started with that. Because if we talk of the unit committee, the referendum is yes and no for the whole country. So one plate for the whole country.
So that was simple.
Simple. But if you come to the district level and the unit committee, we have 6,272 electoral areas. I mean, they need that number of plates for this assembly, same number of plates for the unit committee. So that one is a bit complex. So we decided to finish with the referendum before we move on to the assembly and unit committee. They were printed simultaneously.
It means that as Director of Electoral Services, you will be in charge of that, or you were in charge of it?
Well, we start the preparation, but it's a what do you call it? The procurement will come in, finance will come in, stores will come in, audit will come in. So it's a collective work.
Well, let's not dwell more on the referendum because it's been called off.
Exactly.
But it also means that at the same time you were working on the district level. That will include the unit committee elections and which one?
Under this assembly.
And the district assembly.
Yes. The assembly is where we elect the assembly members.
Exactly. But we all do know that since we began the Fourth Republic, when it comes to the district level elections, the patronage is always low. On election day, I mean. You
are right. They started the election of the DLE in 1988. And that year it was about 51%. Then it went down to around 25%. Then it went to 41%. The rest of the 2015 it was about 30.6%. So on the average, it's around 39%.
If we just suppose that to the main election, the main election usually, that's for parliamentary and then presidential. What's the turnout?
We call it general election.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so
when it comes to the general elections.
Yes, that one also fluctuates. So I think the highest was about 89%, and the least was 65%. I'm not so sure about that. But you know, for the general election, because of the involvement of the political parties, they whip up a lot of enthusiasm, interest in it. So most often than not, we have little to do when it comes to publicity and when it comes to general elections. But when it comes to this assembly, we have to go to the level of even sponsoring platform mounting, doing a lot of things to whip up. So it is easier when it comes to publicity with respect to general elections.
Because the parties are involved.
Exactly.
Do you think that was why the advocacy was for the political parties from the president to be involved in the election of the MMDCs?
I wouldn't know the reason. I don't think the reason should be on the turnout. Because maybe because they wanted to take democracy to the grassroots and allow the political parties to come in. But I don't think the target was for turnout. No, I don't think so.
Let me pick your mind on this, based on your experiences. And which regions have you worked before coming to occupy the position of Director of Electoral Services?
I joined the commission in 95.
Oh, you have great experience.
Yes, and I was in KE, Elmina. The minute after the 98 elections, that is 3 years after joining the commission, I went to Aguna Swedru, Aguna District for from 98 to 2005. I became the Deputy Regional Director for Central Region up to 14th of 1st January 2014. Sorry. Then I was posted to Upper West Wa at the Regional Director there. I was there for 2 years, 2 months. So in March 2016, I came to Ashanti Region. So I supervised the election, 2016.
Oh, the 2016 general elections?
Yes, please. Then
just the Ashanti Region, you were Director of Elections?
Exactly. No, Regional Director, not Director.
Okay, Regional Director.
Then April this year, I was brought to head office.
I used to have a good friend who used to work with the commission, Mr. Samuel Yokedu. Was the Director of Elections in 2004 when I went to, or the Regional Director?
He was, when I joined the commission, was the Regional Director for Western.
Okay,
95.
Great. Right. So it will mean that the experiences that you have, you should be able to tell me whether, if it's not on turnout, then that argument is moot about because the parties are not involved, turnout will be low.
No, what I mean is that the reason for, I believe, for the president saying that we should do the referendum to bring the political parties, I don't think the reason was for turnout. Okay. But maybe for them to participate in the... Because the truth is that, as we speak, we will be ostriches if we say the political parties are not there. The laws bar them, but they are there. They are there.
The parties are there.
Yeah, because I'm receiving a lot of complaints, and when you investigate, you read that there's one particular case in Kumasi as I speak, and they've even gone to court. And my information is that there are 2 candidates from the same political party, and
you mean be backed?
Yes. Okay.
At the background.
Exactly, and the party is putting pressure on one of the candidates to drop.
To stand down.
Stand down, and the other one is saying no, because there are 2 factions there. So the political parties are there. So
that will be in, is it the electoral area?
Yes.
In a particular electoral area?
Exactly.
Okay.
So, in the Ashanti region.
So as electoral officers, how do you distinguish in the posters whether, because the parties tend to use various colors. How do you know whether this one is aligned to, or you suspect?
No, if you look at their posters, the background colors suggest that they are coming from A or B. The background.
So I remember A or B, you find a certain color.
Yes.
Even though the emblem will not be there, but you find the color.
Exactly. And I remember in 2016, we disqualified a candidate because that one was clear that he was for a particular party. And the candidate went to court. And the argument he used was that it was the opponent of his who pasted those notices, but not from him. We didn't have any evidence that he actually posted the notices. So there was no question about whether the colors were for a particular party. He agrees. But he said he didn't post the notices. So it was opponent. And the court said we should give an opportunity to. So we have to rerun that.
So
election.
At the community level, your electoral officers will know that they will know that they have the backing of the political parties. But because it's not in the open, there's nothing you can do about it.
The truth is that the law doesn't stop the politicians from contesting. So I may be a chairman of a political party. I qualify to contest as well as I'm a Ghanaian. But in the course of contesting, I am not supposed to be using the party in my campaigning, vote for me because I'm party A, party B. So that's it, because almost all of them are politicians. So when you go to the grassroots, They know Ronald is a party A person. So when Ronald is contesting, they know that. So most often than not, you know that party will tilt their vote towards that person. But the Lord bars them from openly campaigning on the ticket of the political parties. But on the ground, they know themselves.
My name is Roland.
Roland, okay. Okay. What did I say?
Ronald.
Oh, okay, Roland.
So that when it's on the poster, they will know that it's Roland.
You are right.
Okay.
But there's another case that is before us, and they also threatening to go to court.
In this current election?
Yes, in this election.
For tomorrow?
Yes, in Aguna Swedru area. The mounted platform, we mount platform for the candidates. So this former MP went on the platform and campaigned that they should vote for a particular candidate.
But that's not wrong.
It's wrong in the sense that the former MP is not a candidate. So he has no business mounting the platform. Right?
I don't want to understand. So for example,
we mount platform the candidates.
Okay, you wait. Roland, I stay at Ajekojo. So now my candidate at Ajekojo, or the individual who is contesting, I feel is my candidate. I can't go and mount or attach myself to his campaign team going to address people and say that please vote for him. You
can do that. But what I'm saying is that Electoral Commission mounted a platform for the candidates.
Okay.
And he went on that platform.
Okay.
On that platform, you can ask questions. But you don't go on that platform and campaign for a candidate. The candidates will tell you their manifesto, why you should vote for them. Then if you have a question, then I can pose that question to you. But I don't have no business mounting that particular platform and campaigning for or against somebody. That's what I mean. But if they are going around doing their campaigning, then you don't have them. But don't use our platform to campaign for or against a candidate.
That's very interesting.
So because of that, we have fired the officer there. Yes,
you fired the officer for
the deputy
for what?
For allowing somebody to use our
It shouldn't have been allowed in
at
the
all.
first place.
At all.
So the nearly 60 million voters, you've printed the sheets accordingly.
The purpose, yes.
For the unit committees and the assembly elections.
Exactly.
Okay. And you are going to give all that simultaneously when you go to the booth?
Yes. No, not simultaneously. When you go to the polling station, you meet the presiding officer. He is not supposed to be sitting down. He will be welcoming voters to the center. Then he will ask you, where do you have a card? He will also inspect your left cuticle, whether indelible has been applied. If it has been applied, it means that you have already voted. So once he's convinced that you are the right polling station, whether you have a voter ID card or not, he's supposed to help you. But if you have the voter ID card, it facilitates the processes. So he then take you to the table 1. That's where all the registers will be there. Then he will go through the register. The first one is what we call the names reference list. That one, the names have been arranged alphabetically and 2 columns. So left and the right. So you look through using the alphabetical order, then identifies Roland Walker. Then it tells you that Roland is page 4 left or page 4 right. Then if that instruction goes to the one who is using the main the register and the BVD. So you then go through page 4 left or right. Then he picks your name. You have every voter has a barcode. The BVD will be used to pick the barcode. Once the barcode is picked, then your picture will pop up. So you look at the picture here and your face. I think you are the one. Then you will now put your hand on the machine for you to be verified. If your picture pops up, everybody realizes that this is Roland, but the system cannot pick your fingerprints. Then you have what we call manual verification. There's a form. All the agents there will be brought together. This is Roland. Do you agree? Do you have any problem? If you say, yeah, he is, there's a form. Each one will endorse that this is Roland. Then he's given the ballot paper to code. But if the machine picks the fingerprint, then there's no need for any other verification. Then you go through that process. You'll be given first the disassembly ballot paper. You go to the first booth. They will tell you how to fold after you have thumbprinted. You make your choice. you put it in the ballot box for the assembly, then you go to the next table, you'll be given the union committee. The union committee, you are picking 5 from the lot. The highest so far, I think there are 25 candidates. You pick 5 out of it. If you pick 1, it's your choice, but not more than 5. If you pick more than 5, the whole ballot paper has been rejected. Then you also put the ballot paper in the union committee ballot box, then you leave the place. Our advice is that when you finish casting your vote, leave the scene. When it is 5 o'clock that you are going to do the counting, you come and observe. Because assuming the polling station has about 800 voters, and everybody decides to stay after casting the vote, you know the implication.
I see. Well, let's straight away get onto the screens, the phones, and get more insight into this conversation. Somebody who has occupied the position where Dr. Srebwo Kweku is currently is Mr. Albert Ahin, but he's now the national coordinator of CODEO, and it's the coalition of the election observers, as we have in our country.
Domestic election.
And good morning to you, Mr. Ahin.
Good morning, and good morning to Kweku and again your listeners.
Okay, please. Please, my name is Roland, sir.
Roland, okay.
Okay, all right. So in the meantime, if you take the history, and as you know, having occupied the position of Director of Elections of the Electoral Commission of Ghana, of the turnout for district level election, it has always been low. Now, Dr. Kweku is telling us just hovering around the 30% turnout mark averagely in the Fourth Republic. Why, per your own observation, do we have that?
What is the question? Why the turnout would being low?
Yes, for the district level elections.
I mean, your question is that why has it been persistently low? Is that it?
Exactly, sir.
Yeah. Let me say that the very time the district assembly concept was introduced, I think it was in 1987. From the very beginning, the enthusiasm was so high. Ghanaians were very much interested in the district assembly election. But from 87, going up, it's been recording very low turnout. And there are obvious reasons and many reasons that people have been assigning to these low performances. Some have attributed it to the fact that it is not on partisan basis. Some are saying that the performances of the various assembly members has not been good enough and therefore not attracting people to be interested in it. But there are a whole lot of issues involved. I will personally say that Ghanaians have not taken the trouble to really understand the rationale behind the district assembly concept. If they have taken time to look at it carefully, they will realize that it's even in their own interest to take part in these elections, because it's actually going to promote development in their various localities. It looks like the interest from time, immemorial, from the time it started, has not been there. Ghanaians have not been following the thing properly. From the euphoria that started it, it has started going down and down and down. And I think it's the interest. The interest is not there. And I believe because the parties are also not there, it could also mean that, when the parties are involved, they actually ginger people up. They go there, they do rallies, they talk to them. Sometimes they even provide monies and whatever. So these are the issues. The interest has not been there, and if it has been there, it has not even been sustained. And that, I believe, why we have been recording very low turnout.
Now, perhaps this will be the most popular of the district level elections that we've had in terms of the publicity that has been given to it in recent decades. And I would say, I can dare say, it's because we had attached the referendum, which now has been aborted. Can you also make same conclusions? Or what would be your views on my suggestion or question or position?
That because of the referendum, it's likely we might be recording low turnout?
No. That the euphoria around this district level election was quite high because the referendum was attached to it. I don't know what your view on my question.
you are right in saying that the referendum, actually brought in some euphoria. That went with the assembly itself, the elections itself. Now that we are not going to have the referendum anymore, you'll be right in saying that the light will be a little bit dim. People will not be that keen in going to the polls. So originally, we have this problem. Then this has been added by the fact that, some might even be saying somewhere that it's even cancelled. If the message doesn't go deep down. With the cancellation of the referendum, people might even construe it to mean that the whole election is even going to be, it's not going to take place. So what you are saying is right. With the referendum being out, it's going to, tone the thing down a little bit. But don't worry. Maybe some assemblymen, going around. I was in Tamale recently, and I saw some people who were very, very keen and contesting, with hiring some bands, Gombe band playing, going around the villages, and doing some rallies. So yes, it's not going to be that. The turnout is not going to be the same throughout Ghana, but in specific areas, you find that some of them will be doing very well. I was praying that this thing should catch on very well with everybody.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's quiet. The atmosphere is so quiet.
Yeah.
And it's very likely we might have the same low turnout again. That is my fear.
Now, I was just discussing this with Dr. Kweku, who, based on his experiences, was first your subordinate, of course, colleague, but worked under you closely.
He's my uncle.
Okay. So also observed that on the background, the political parties, just like all of us have observed, support many of the candidates in a way. And you can identify that with the colors that they use in designing their messages and the posters, etc. And even in this age of social media, it's even become more pronounced. Did you also make those observations while you were in office working with the EC and now as Kudeu with the domestic election observers, the coalition itself?
Roland, I will not even let you land. It is there. That is why a lot of people have been saying that Ghanaians are behaving like ostriches. We are burying our heads in the sand. We know exactly what is going on. Political parties are behind the candidate. And in fact, they themselves have even said that in some cases they even organize primaries for these assemblymen who are contesting to become aspirants or whatever, to become assemblymen for their area. The parties are certainly behind them. And going around the countryside, you see that there are colors. You can easily see the colors of the various parties in the posters that they posted there. They are put there. So we are clandestine. We are condoning. It's something that is illegal. It's illegal. But the parties have come out openly to say that they are doing it.
Okay.
That is why people were saying that if they say they are doing it, then why don't we give them the chance, maybe, to contest on partisan basis, so that, for example, the turnout might go up because of the party's involvement. But you are right. As Kodeo, when we go around, we see these things. The parties are behind.
Okay.
And it's no longer a secret. I don't think anybody.
No. Yeah, I think we all do know that it's not a secret. Yeah. But let me ask you or pick your mind on this. Does it mean once that the president now says that we're going for deeper consultations and come again following the abortment, so to speak, the consultations should then also traverse into the field of convincing Ghanaians that the parties are involved anyway. And as a result of that, the parties should be made to be involved in the district level elections. Subsequently, that could be an argument for the election of MMDCs.
Yes, in fact, looking at the qualification even, what is it? Looking at the way the whole thing was framed up, by way of asking the parties to participate by the referendum that was to be organized, you will find that it was 40% 40% participation and 75% turnout. That tells you seriously that the framers of that law wanted active consultation or involvement of those parties involved before this thing could become fruitful. You see, it actually involves people coming together to agree. If the parties don't agree, I'm not sure this thing will come to fruition. So it is there. And I believe the president wants to go back and then organize properly, to look at the parties, discuss it with them thoroughly before maybe coming again. I believe that is the rationale behind is withdrawing it so that there will be more engagement, more consultation, more inclusiveness, so that everybody will get involved, so that we lift the veil. We have actually covered it with a veil, and it is not right. We are actually infringing, on the law. It's illegal. People are participating in it because they are being sponsored. So it's better we lift the veil and we get going.
What about the argument that it will mean that so-called, in quote, moneycracy would also be visited at the district level?
No moneycraft.
What about the argument that, and that's an argument against, that moneycracy,
okay.
Yeah, will be visited, so to speak, if it's, it means that the involvement...
Yeah, if it's on partisan base. My brother, as for that one, you cannot avoid it. People with money will sponsor, yes. But if they will sponsor, and in the long run, there's going to be development, which is the focal point here. The district assembly concept is actually being introduced for people to take up their development in their various localities.
Yeah.
So if it's going to be, money is going to be put in, but there will not be any rancor, any acrimony, anything like fighting, which we are used to with regards to the political parties' competition. I think we shouldn't have any problem. If I have money, I want to sponsor somebody at the district assembly, and I believe firmly that boy winning can turn things upside down in that locality. I don't think we should have any problem. My problem will be only when monies are introduced, and then there's a lot of, fighting and whatever, as we are used to with the political party. That is what some people fear, that introducing this kind of thing it brings some problem. But devoid of that, I think it's okay.
All right. Thank you for your thoughts this morning. And Mr. Albert Ahin is the National Coordinator for the Coalition of Domestic Election Observers, CODEO, and helping us do those discussions. And we have to come back to you, Dr. Kweku. It would mean that ultimately you will have to marshal the resources, the equipment, and has that been done already? It's just about 24 hours to the election.
So all our materials are at the regions now, and I know they started distributing them to the district yesterday.
Okay.
No, for the polling stations, for security reasons, we cannot send them before the election day. So we normally send them the dawn of the election, and it depends on each region's topography and geographical issues. Yes. So some will start very early. Even some will start today, deep in the night, and do the distribution. So we are hoping that the worst case, 6:30, all the material should be at the polling stations, and we'll go ahead with the elections.
And that will be in how many polling stations altogether? We
are talking of, we have 31,851, but there will be no elections in Lower Manyakrobo because they did theirs 2 years ago, and Kranza North and South, they also did theirs 2017. So with the exception of these 3 districts, all the other districts are going to have it. And we are going to have it around 31,500 polling stations.
Ultimately.
Exactly.
But let's take you to the Upper West region. And we had some interaction with inhabitants or residents and asked them their interests and whether they will be participating in the unit committee elections as well as the assembly elections.
I will not be voting. I will not be taking part in this election because my vote is not in Upper West. So I think I need to be, or I should be part of the decision making of the country or the community in which I find myself. So my vote should really count a lot in choosing somebody who would be a leader in whichever community that I find myself.
Yeah, I will surely vote because I'm a Ghanaian. My vote is needed. I'll vote because I have my right to vote. I will say to the people that we are going to elect to keep to their rights because we trusted them by casting our votes to them. And they should also be true and to let us do the works together so that it won't be something that is imposed on us, but it's something we are doing together.
Yes, I'm going to participate in that. Yes, this assembly election is about the community. How well the people in the community can mobilize themselves, mobilize their resources together, put their energies together, and develop the area concerned. That's why I must vote. Well, there are some challenges associated with the disease level voting. Here's the case that Assemblyman himself doesn't have the financial power to construct the roads, to provide the water, build all the schools. But if you have somebody who can liaise very well with the community, with the government, and even with NGOs, at least some development can come to the area. We have voted not purposely for the Assemblyman himself, but we want to see how best we can unite all our energies behind the Assemblyman to solicit support from the government, from NGOs, and even from within ourselves to better ourselves.
Let's take you to the Volta region, and we asked him questions and had some responses. Oh, Crimply had some technical difficulties. We'll get that on stream, and when we're ready, we will do that. It looks like it's ready now.
Looking at the structure or the framework of our constitution and our government, you realize that we definitely need people from the scratch before we get to the top. And it is very necessary for us to vote people who are influential and we know can do the work to chair those functions for us. And I'm quite happy about how people have seen the need to enter into the district assembly election this time around. You will see that it is a little competitive. All the same, I think most of them need orientation or education on what exactly the work entails. I think over the years, it's just about someone who is popular and then they give the vote to the person. It's not supposed to be so. It's supposed to be someone who is influential though, but knows what to do when he's given the mandate. That is one thing I would like to suggest. Although it is very close and we all know that the date is in this December, but surely I'm very, very sure that people who have entered and know what they are going to do, they definitely going to do the work for us. So that is why I think I also have to participate, because it is my right.
For me, I will surely take part in the elections because I believe that we should develop our areas from the bottom to the top. That is the bottom approach. And over the years, we have seen development being at the top before coming to the bottom, which has made Ghana underdeveloped. So come Tuesday, I will surely go and cast my vote for whoever I think better work in my area, better develop my area in the interest of Ghana. I will do so.
Before any progress comes, it must start from our own home. Yes, our own home in this sense that development started from the beginning, the scratch. So when we want to develop, Ghana is set back because we forget the roots and we are just focusing on the fruit. That the roots are the ones that are providing the fruit. So when the roots are not developed, the country will not be developed. So the people that's supposed to be elected must be up and doing, must be hardworking, must be ready to innovate their local areas. Yes, and that is the main reason why I will take part in that 17th of this month, which is Tuesday, election. Yes, because together we have one Ghana, and together that Ghana is for us. So we must do it from the beginning so that at the end, one Ghana will be raised higher.
But ultimately, you encourage everybody to go and vote at their various election centers?
If you know the essence of the district level election, they are for the development of our locality. We are electing our leaders who will lead us into communal labor, registration of birth and death, supervising government projects, coming out with the needs of the community and the rest. So we need that we are going to put our faith in the hands of the people we are going to elect. The unit committee will be our parliamentarians. The assemblyman will be our, more or less, our president for that place. So if you don't vote for the right people, whatever it is, somebody will vote. Whether one person voted or 100 people voted, there will be an assemblyman, there will be unit committee persons.
Okay.
So if the wrong persons are elected, we stand to suffer.
Okay. We're opening the phone lines now. Please call us and let us get interactive. 030-2211-691 or 2. And the question is, would you go and participate? And why would you go and participate? And where you're calling from so that we get to identify the electoral area. But you can also give us more of your messages through our WhatsApp platform 054. Now we also have 10900. And 9. But in the meantime, it looks like we're having more of the messages coming in. Please, our exhibition money, I have not been paid. If I'm not paid, I'm not going to do the exercise tomorrow. And that's from Razak from Boku. When are you paying the exhibition
we have
allowances?
paid them, so you should check from his bank. You've paid them. A lot of them have.
You've been credited, Razak. They say you should check. It will come to you. From Adiembra, we have Yusuf. Yusuf.
Hello, dear.
Yeah, please, I'm a man.
Am I online?
Yeah, you're online. You're online.
Okay.
You're speaking to a man, please.
Yes, thank you so very much.
Okay.
Yeah, I have been an assembly member myself before. I was an assembly member elected for 12 years.
Which electoral area?
Yeah. And then later I decided not to go again because I felt I was tired. Somebody should go. But you see, sometimes when we are electing people, we think that once you are elected assembly member, you must bring the development. No, the assembly member is a mobilizer. He is there to mobilize all of us so that together we all determine what development we need in our area. But if you vote for an assembly member, you leave him alone. He can at best only lobby the District Assembly authorities and other heads of institutions to assist in bringing development. But when it comes, the communal aspect, it is all of us in the community who should join hands. You see, so we should see the assembly member as a unifier, a mobilizer, and not somebody who is dividing the community.
Okay. Yusuf.
Hello, dear.
Please, why is it that, or do you think that community members in the electoral areas where you are elected seem to confuse you or tend to benchmark you with the role of the MPs or how they perceive the MPs to work? So sometimes put excessive pressure on you to also spend?
Good. Of course, an assembly member in that area must have a direct link with his MP. Okay. Because when it comes to serious capital development, it is the MP who can, lobby it from the floors of the parliament. But when it comes to the local, the assembly member can only present the needs to the assembly for the assembly to factor or capture it in its budget. The resources will not come from the assembly member. It will come from the the assembly itself. You see, but when it comes to maybe there are certain projects that we need communal support, it is the whole community that should come together and support the assembly member do it.
Okay.
But if you vote for him and you sit back, thinking that the assembly member must do it, I'm afraid it will all work that way.
All right, thank you very much, Yusuf. Yusuf given us that call from Adiembra. Now let's go to Ketri. Ketri is calling us from Seshri Bekwai. And Ketri, good morning to you. Will you be participating in the elections tomorrow? And why would you do that?
Sure. Roland, good morning to you too.
Morning, Ketri.
Actually, I'm an aspirant myself.
Oh, great. From which is your electoral area in Sekrebekwai? Kwai?
My electoral area is called Akasu electoral area.
Akasu electoral. Akasu. Okay.
Akasu electoral area.
Okay, I've given you publicity.
Communities.
Okay. So, Ketri.
Yes, sir.
Which party is backing you? Oh.
Well, I'm doing it myself.
Okay. Okay, Ketri. Your poster. Which colors are on the poster? What the design colors? Let me know.
It's multi-colored.
Okay, so please just name the colors.
Well, there is violet.
Violet.
There's blue.
Blue.
There's green at the background, and there's blue with my name and violet design.
Okay, so blue is dominating.
No.
Do you have white?
Do
you have white in there?
No, there is no white.
Do you have red in there?
No red.
Do you have green?
Yes, green at the background.
Do you have blue?
I have blue, yes.
Okay, so you're a unifier.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Ketri. We wish you all the best in Akasu electoral area in Sekrebekwai Kwai. But let's go to Kofi. Kofi, you're calling from Kumasi, the Ashanti Regional Capital. Kofi? Kofi, how are you?
Hi, Roland. How are you?
Yeah. Are you also contesting?
No.
You're not contesting?
I'm just...
okay. Which electoral area are you, Kofi?
I'm a voter.
You're a voter. But which electoral area in Kumasi?
Konum Kwapra.
What say?
Konum Kwapra.
Konum Kwafra.
Yeah, Konum Kwapra.
Kwapra. Okay.
Yes.
And who are you voting for in that electoral area?
Well, I will not tell you. I will not tell you now.
Right.
Yeah, but the problem with the attendance of the voting is what I wanted to talk about.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, the patronage of the assembly elections are always very low because it is restricted to a local area. So a person living in Accra, why should a person living in Accra spend money and time to go so and vote there where his vote is? That is the problem. So there should be a way that even though that person has his vote at goal for the general election, the presidential election and parliamentary election, there should be a way that this same person can vote in Accra where he's living. What
do you suggest? Kofi, what do you suggest?
Yeah. My suggestion is that people living in Accra should vote in their local area in the district assembly election.
I don't understand, but if your vote is in Kwapra, for example, where you are, that electoral area in Kwapra.
That is the problem.
And you live in Accra.
Now, I'm living in Kwapra. My vote is in Kwapra. I can vote in Kwapra.
Fine.
But somebody whose vote is in Temale and living in Accra, there's no motivation for this person to travel all the way from Accra to Temale to go and vote in a council election, which doesn't have any influence on his life in Accra.
But they do it for the MPs.
Yes, the MP is a different thing. So the person who stays in Accra, but his vote is in Tamale, should be able to vote in Accra where his life and living condition is affected by the assembly or the local council area. Because the local council in Accra, let's say, supplies the water he drinks, the toilet he has to go. So if this person has no chance to vote in Accra, then there's no motivation for him to go to Tamale to go and vote over there.
Okay.
So there should be a system.
But the Electoral Commission also has given opportunity for transfer of votes. That's possible.
Yeah, the transfer of votes is okay. But it's okay. But living in Accra, there's no motivation for me to travel to Tamale to go and vote in a local council election.
And then also the processes for the transfer. You know, Zanda, you have to transfer and all that. Is that also a reason?
Yeah, well, yeah. It is also a reason.
Okay.
It is also a reason.
Thank you very much. Let's go to Kede. Kede, we have Abdurrahman. Abdurrahman from Kede. We'll still keep the phone lines on screen so that you can also call. Abdurrahman, we seem to have lost Abdurrahman. I have a couple of your messages on WhatsApp and through the number 054 We have 0, 10, 900, 9. And we have this one from Nelson Kufodia. He's calling, or he's giving us this message from the Adan electoral area in the new Joabeng South Assembly. And he says, good morning, I will vote because it is very important to me to participate in the decision-making and development of my electoral area. This one, the social study message. Okay, so let's go to this one. It says, okay. Okay. Okay, he says, again, there's nothing in my account. Razak is still coming back, saying that he hasn't been paid. So, okay, you should read your message. Sule Gariba. Sule, I'm reading your message. Okay, I have to go and take part in the district level election because we need the right people to represent the community for development. That is Wa West District, Tokali electoral area to be specific. And this one is from Sule. Sule, I just read your message. Papasi South electoral area is where Faisal in the OT region is giving us this message from. He says we'll be taking part in the December 17 election because I'm a Ghanaian and an eligible voter. We do understand you. Please make sure. We want you to find out from the Ghana Statistical Service the reason why they don't want to pay our allowances. Okay, they also are doing the preparation for the census, so I know that. Okay, so that will be it for now. We have a couple, but let's go to Desmond in Navrongo. Desmond. Well, we've lost Desmond. Let's go, Desmond.
No. Hello?
Yeah, who is this, Peter?
Yeah, Peter T. This is Peter T.
Okay, you're calling from Sukura?
Yeah, I'm calling from Sukura, right?
Which one? The one in Accra?
Yeah, the one in Accra.
Okay, so your electoral area is which one?
That is Mabruk electoral area.
Mabruk?
Yeah.
Mabruk electoral area. Okay.
Yeah.
Who will
you know me very well.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
I'm assemblyman myself, and I'm aspiring to be retained.
Okay, so you are voting for yourself. It's logical.
Yeah,
right?
promise I have to vote for myself.
But let me just pick your experiences. Having been an assemblyman yourself, why do you think that the turnout is always low?
This is the question that needs to be answered by Electoral Commission.
Why?
Yeah, why? Because it seems that we have appealed for several times, for a particular program to be organized. Like involvement of the electorate, sensitizing them, educating them, the importance of the assembly election. That is the basic and the fundamental when we say grassroots participation. But you see, attention rather is always been shifted to the presidential and parliamentary because the influence of money and whatever comes direct from there. Because Assemblyman Hamad, that we don't even earn salary, let alone to be given any substantial, allowances that will be able to cater for the development for the electoral area. You see, so there are so many things that go into it, and we need to look at it very carefully. Because if assemblies can be recognized, because the local government system has brought about the decentralization that we've all been practicing. And that is mean that the power to the people at the grassroots. So if maximum attention is not given, and it's always about presidential and parliamentary elections, look at so far the publicity that have gone on. It is not enough. How many of us even watch television? How many of us even listen to radio? Okay, so it seems that they must come down at any time, and then also make the assembly make the people believe that the assembly is the tool of the people.
Okay,
I mean, that is
Piero, thank you for this, but I'll let you respond, Dr. Kwaku, to this.
I wanted to ask him whether they have done their platform mounting.
Okay, have you done your platform mounting?
Yeah, we have done our platform mounting. It's supposed to be 2, but we've done only 1. We've done only 1, and the remaining 1 have not been done. And I don't think once tomorrow is the day of the election,
forget it.
I don't think that when this will be organized. And it's also one of the areas also to inform the public, to inform the community the basis of the assembly.
Well, Peter, your point has been made. Let's go to Takrade, and it's where Patrick is calling from. Patrick? Yes, please. Which electoral area are you calling from?
Isikado.
Isikado?
Yeah, Isikado.
No. Isikado Keten cannot be an electoral area. I think I know about elections enough. So it means you don't know your electoral area?
No, I'm saying that area is Isikado.
I know where you stay, but I'm saying that Isikado Keten cannot be an electoral area.
All right, but
Isikado Keten.
That is not important to me. Although I know it, I'm saying that it's Isikado. So yeah.
Okay, but will you be voting?
The truth is, Roland, I've never voted before.
Oh, Patrick, life. This is bad. Are you a Jehovah's Witness?
No. It's not about your Roland. What is the importance of voting in Ghana? Tell me.
So that you elect people who will be responsible to you in public office and bring you development.
Roland, none of them is responsible. That is my case. None of them is responsible.
Because Patrick, are not voting. You are not getting the right people to go and represent you.
Because we don't have the right people to man the positions. That is what they tell us to lure us to go and vote. Because they will say, if you don't vote, you let some people go and vote for bad people for you to occupy the position, so go and vote. But what are the options that they are presenting to us? Look at this. Honorable Aponchi. Like, I should waste my time, leave my job, go and be in a queue and select between Honorable Aponchi and who?
Why don't you take yourself as a person who can vie for office?
I'm not.
You're not interested. That's Patrick. Patrick doesn't know his electoral area, and no wonder he's never voted before. He just knows where he lives. But we appreciate all your calls from all those who called, and Patrick from Takrade, Isikado Keten, that's where he lives. Please get to know your electoral area, and I wish that you participate in this election. You should at least participate once. We have this one from Michael Ado Brown from Kwong. And he says, Roland, I appreciate your interview or questions about the color. It's very important for me. I tend to watch out for the colors all the time, because when I see some colors dominating, I get to know where they gravitate towards. But look, we need to get people to know about the elections. It looks like you, the Electoral Commission, the NCC, you've left the publicity to the parties in the general and the presidential elections, or the general elections, let's say. And so when this one comes, then you fall short of getting the publicity needed.
We have a lot of publicity processes that we adopt. We have posters, different forms of posters. They are form of publicity. We have a lot of jingles, which the media people will be playing. We have what we call dawn broadcast. Our vehicles mount their speakers, loudspeakers, and they do dawn broadcast. We have leaflets, we call them
flyers.
Flyers. We send them out. But if you look at the gentleman who called Patrick, he is not interested in anything. So in such a case, what can you do? But those who want to participate, I believe, and even the platform mounting issue that I was talking about, we mount platform for the voters to go and interact with the candidates. So if you are not interested to meet them, there's nothing we can do. And I want to add that if you go to the rural areas, the turnouts are comparatively higher than the urban areas.
Why?
The impact of the assembly members and the union committees are felt there. If you go to my village, even when you lose a relation, they will have to help you to fix the date. You cannot fix the date for the funeral without them. When you come to the burial itself, the site for burial, they organize the people to go and dig the...
So they are very useful.
Exactly. So when you go to the rural areas, they are very powerful people, honorable. Even their spouses are powerful there.
Yeah.
But if you go to the urban area, it's difficult for me to hear anybody from the villages telling me that he doesn't know his assembly member. Or, you know. Yeah. But I believe you yourself are that, whether you know your assembly member.
Yes, I know him very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that is the challenge is that the turnouts are very high comparatively in the rural areas than the urban areas. So every time we do the election, guitar car is the least. That is it.
Greater Accra people, stubborn residents. Okay, so we have this one. So please read my messages. I'm about to read it. And this one is from Nanasafo Ahafo Goso. Greetings from Nanasafo Ahafo Goso. Is there a place like that?
Ahafo Goso, yes.
Okay,
that's the capital for Ahafo region.
Oh, great. Greetings to Nana Yao Jill, incoming assembly member for Ahin Bobuano electoral area. It said, please, this election is very relevant. I love that because his friend is contesting. So, let me continue. So, I will urge everybody to go and exercise their franchise to enroll more development or to roll out more development in their respective areas. And that's from Nana Safo Ahafo Goso. And he says incoming assembly member is going to be for the Ahim Bobuano electoral area. Is going to be Nana Yao Jail. Great advert for Nana Yao Jail if you live in that area. Okay, I have seen Mr. Roland on the front page of the news. Oh, really? Okay, so this one also is coming from, it says, I'm a person with disability contesting in the election at Donkok Chrome electoral area. In your name, Donkok Chrome electoral area in your name. Please, all of you, oh, you didn't bring your name so that I would have Donkok Chrome electoral area. But let's bring this one to, it says, good morning. Good morning to Dr. Kweku. There's a man who knows you. He says, in fact, you're a man of integrity. Okay. Please give me money after here. Men of integrity, they like helping with the vulnerable. Very honest and humble person. Keep it up from Dr. Keep it up, Doctor, from Frederick Twaso Ashanti. Okay, so that's your base, your home base. People know you a lot. Twansi.
That's why I did my O level.
Oh, Twansi. Okay. I will not vote because I don't even know the contestants. No one has organized any form or forum or approached me. So I don't know their manifestos and capabilities. Now, this is coming from Agnes from Zanguri in Tamale. Zanguri in Tamale. Well, we've read that as well. Well, thank you. But so what are you going to do with the ballot papers that you've printed for the referendum?
I don't know whether it is cancelled for life. If it's not cancelled for life, and maybe we need it, we use it in the next possible time, it could be used.
Per your experiences,
yes,
it could be used.
Yes, because the question will still be yes or no. So nothing will change. Yes.
Okay. So it's not completely waste of money yet.
And I don't think so. But on condition that the issue will be reactivated. Once it is reactivated, the same ballot paper, the same issue to voted on, and it could be used.
How much did you spend in the quantities? How much was the sum?
The number of ballot papers?
No.
The amount.
How much did you spend on it?
It's difficult for me to determine now because I said that it's a contract for referendum. This is assembly and committee, so we need to disaggregate before we can get the actuals.
And then we've also been hearing the news. The Electoral Commission of Ghana, you want us to register again. Why?
Oh, we want to compile new voters register because one, the current register, I believe, is bloated. That's my personal view. And that is what was part of my thesis. What we realized
for your doctorate?
Yes. What we realized that in economics. What we realized is that the more the register lasts, we tend to have a lot of disease names on them. People are passing on daily basis, but we hardly remove their names from that.
When did we have the last registration?
2012.
The last registration was 2012.
Yes, this data was compiled from 2012. And there are technical reasons, but I'm giving my personal...
Okay, let's go to the technical official reason. Okay, so that we don't put you in trouble.
Okay. We believe that the current system, the biometric system, is outdated. We are having challenges with the BVDs in respect to capturing fingerprints now. Again, the suppliers of the current system are no more supplying them. So getting cartridges.
You mean the manufacturers and
Exactly,
subsequent suppliers
exactly.
of the machinery? That is the software and the hardware.
Yes.
That is used in doing the capturing for verification.
For registration and the verification, everything. They are no more supplying them. So,
who are they?
The suppliers were STL. I don't know who the actual producers are, because we got them from STL. Yes, so I can't.
So there are no more.
Yes. So even getting cartridges or toners, it's difficult to come by. So you go to the open market, get the cartridges. The inscriptions are that they are the right cartridges. You put on the machine, they are not working.
They don't fit.
Exactly. So the major issue is that, and
the software challenges you have.
Yes, and it's like you buy your phone. Within 4 years.
Oh, a year, crap.
Okay, yeah.
iPhone is always coming. So every 6 months they have new phone.
For the technology, every time new things are coming. So others are saying that.
Is it the position of the Electoral Commission that because technology is changing, I think, every day, so it means that we have to, we need to have this as hindsight?
But you need better.
But the party said that the consultation was not enough.
And the other side of that, because of the challenge you are having with the biometric fingerprints, this new one, we want to also add facial recognition. So that if your fingers fail you, you go to the facial one. So it's an update or improvement upon the existing one.
That's a good one. You are the only one that Commission has given justified reason for that. Okay, I've enjoyed the conversation with you. It's been educative.
Thank you.
But also knowing that we spent money for printing the referendum papers, and they are there.
Yes.
Even though we've aborted.
Yes.
But you are saying it's useless but not useless.
Yes.
Okay. It can still be used.
Exactly.
All
but
right,
like I said, we cannot be there for life. So we're assuming next 2 years, it can be used.
Yeah. A man of economics, doctorate in economics. This is the one speaking. Well, Dr. Srebwo Kwaku is Director of Electoral Services, the Electoral Commission. Used to be called Director of Elections, but now giving it a bigger, Director of Electoral Services, Electoral Commission, helping us do the discussions. Please, we encourage everybody, go to your electoral area and vote. Mine is Ajekujo, near Shaiman, so Charlie Sharp, in the Tema West constituency. We'll go there and go and do justice to it tomorrow. It's the 17th of December. That's when we have the Assembly Unit Committee elections. Go and vote. But in the meantime, we also do know that we have to get some analysis on the responses of the president when on Friday he had an interaction with the media. We'll bring you some excerpts and also follow through with some great discussions on the subject. Also, we're getting COPEC. They're worried about some expected increment in petroleum prices, and it's all because there's a certain component or markup which is linked to the MPA, some charges that could be added to the petroleum prices we have, the supplies that we tend to buy at the pumps. What could be the implications? We'll discuss all that on the show. Stay with us.